like a champ. Oh, as it kicks off, mother trucker. Ooh, hopefully we don't let the smoke out. Tighter than my old man's wallet after I mow the yard. It's like 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. Working on it with giant bear paws. Welcome back to a Windy Hollow Garage. Today, we're going to do something totally different. We're not working on any of the cars. Today, we're going to work on the motorhome. So, one of the things I wanted to do for the next season is install some of these micro air easy starts on the air conditioners in the motorhome. Mostly because the big diesel generator, a lot of times we don't need both air conditioners. We only need one. And if we could run one little air conditioner off the little Honda type generator, that'd save us a lot of fuel and still keep the motorhome nice and cool for mom and the doggies this summer. So we have 2 air conditioners on the motorhome. So I bought 2 of these micro air easy starts. However, the first air conditioner I did, we have a 2004 Safari Zanzibar, which is similar to like a Monaco Windsor. It's like the sister motorhome to that. But our back air conditioner was from 2004. It was the original equipment one. So I kind of had to use all my brain power to figure that one out. But I'm hoping the front air conditioner on the motorhome has actually been upgraded. It looks like it was upgraded around 2017 by a previous owner. So I think it's still a Dometic, but I think it's a little newer model. So we're going to get up on the roof and see if we can change these. So here is what the micro air easy start looks like. And of course it just allows, so there's only 4 wires to hook up on it. Basically it just interrupts the draft capacitor to the compressor and just allows it to slowly start instead of hitting it with 20 amps or whatever it is all at once. It kind of gradually revs it up so it doesn't trip your breaker. And let's see, comes with you scan the QR code, it kind of goes to their website, which has all the instructions, and their instructions are really good. They actually have instructions for like every model. So first thing we need to do is get up on the roof of the motorhome and get exactly what model our other air conditioner is. I know it's a Dometic, but I don't know exactly what model it is. So we're going to get up there, see what it is, and then we'll go check out the instructions. All right, this is our motorhome that we travel around in and take to a lot of races. So it's 2004 Safari Zanzibar. This motorhome has the big Cummins 400 ISL and the Allison 4000 transmission. So it's a pretty heavy duty unit. It's got about 100,000 miles on it. I don't know, we've had some quirks with it, just like any motorhome. It is almost 20 years old, so of course anything that's almost 20 years old is going to have its quirks and need a little bit of maintenance. And of course it's got the big Cummins engine that has, I think this has 370 horsepower and I think 1,100 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. So it tows really well. You don't really even know the trailer's back there. So first step in this is just to take the cover off. So it's just 4 screws to take off the cover. And like I said, this is another Dometic. I just need to figure out exactly what the model number is for this one. I think it's, actually I have no idea, so we'll figure it out. I do take the covers off every year to clean all the coil, or not every year, but I did last year. I serviced the air conditioners and cleaned them out real good. And it was amazing how much came out of there. So we'll see how dirty they've gotten in 1 year. Did I mention I'm not a fan of heights? So that's kind of why I didn't record the other one either, because I'm honestly kind of terrified of heights. And so All right, there's our 4 screws. All right, so this is what we're working with here. So we have a Dometic. Let's see. I don't see a model, so I have to look up the product number. So this is a bigger air conditioner than the other one. I think the back one was 10.5. This is a 13.5. So this is a big old unit here. You can see it's still pretty super clean actually. Last year this thing was just it was caked in brown dirt and stuff from the. This year it is nice and clean, so that's good. All right, so here is our electric panel. So we're gonna have to climb in there to figure out what's going on. But before I can do that, I need to make sure I unplugged it because I'm not entirely sure I unplugged the motorhome. It's only 110, but let's go make sure we unplugged it. So we got the power unhooked now, so safety first. So now we can go ahead and take off this cover. All right, so we got the electrical box off. Oh, look at this. Right off the bat, we got bugs in here, so we're gonna have to clean those bugs out. All right, so look, we got a stink bug right in there. That could have been disastrous. Stupid stink bugs. All right. That little capacitor right there is like an extra starting capacitor because that goes from there to the big capacitor right there. So you don't need this with the easy start. So the first thing you pretty much do is unhook all of that. And the best way to do this is just take it one wire at a time. There's only, well, first of all, figure out where you're going to mount your easy start. Find a nice safe place to mount it. And then from there, just take the wires one at a time. Wait, I don't know where to mount this thing, honestly. Looks like... So I'm going to ponder on this for a few minutes and try this in a few different places and see if I can figure out where I want to mount this thing. It's probably going to take me probably forever because I'm kind of slow and finicky about stuff like this.
One eternity later.
All right. Well, I decided on a spot to mount the micro air. It looks like the only place it's going to fit is right here. I can't stand it up and down, which ideally you want it to be up and down so the drain hole's in the bottom, but it's supposed to be a weatherproof box. You're supposed to be able to mount it even on the outside if you need to. So we're going to go with it. So I drilled 2 little holes right there on the back, and then it's also got some double-sided tape that comes with the installation kit that I put on the back. So should be on there pretty good. We'll go ahead and put the last screw in here. Or last screw, I mean second screw, other screw. And I'm using my wheel. These are wheel slick screws. So got to use some kind of race. Got to reuse some kind of race car parts, right? You want to be super careful when you like triple, double, triple, quadruple check that there's nothing behind whatever you're drilling into to mount this thing. Because I know I saw Sleeper Dude drill into the AC lines once, and of course that makes a big mess, and that stuff is toxic. So you don't really want to be inhaling that stuff. But this looks to be pretty stuck on there now. So all right, so we got it mounted. So the next step will be we'll drill a hole through this so that we can fish our wires. We've got all the startup components off of it that it shows on the instructions. One problem I noticed when we took this thing apart was my board was just flapping in the wind up here. The little plastic clippy thing down there at the bottom right here had popped off those things, and the top ones were holding it, but when I touched it, it was just like flopping in the wind. So that's less than ideal. So I lucked out that I decided to come up and do this because there were bugs laying across the connectors, and that it shook loose. So always check that's why it's good to do some off-season checks like that, because these things are not inexpensive. So anyway, now we just take it one wire at a time. So the brown wire from the micro air, which is this one right here, goes to this wire that's connected on your the white wire that goes to your compressor. We already dental flossed it and sorted it out. It's this one here. So we need to take that one off the compressor. So I've already got I already did this on the other one. I'm kind of just doing it the similar way. So there's your female connector. I put that on the brown wire. And I got my good crimpers. And these are the best crimpers, the ones that have the little design like this. These are the ones to use for crimping. They just work 10 times better than anything else I've used. You can get them at Amazon, Home Depot, all the places. Alright, give her the pull test. That one's never coming off of there. Alright, so now I'm going to try and get this white wire disconnected, and it's on there. Whew, it's on there. Tighter than my old man's wallet after I mow the yard. He never wanted to pay us our allowance back in the day. Alright. We'd push mow 2 or 3 acres by hand, and I don't know. Alright, so let's see if we can get this off of here. I'm kind of going to support it on the bottom because I don't want to pull this apart. So now we'll just push this back in its little connector thing here, and we'll just quadruple check to make sure this is the right wire. So you can dental floss it. Yep, so that's it. And the white wire, follow the white wire from the compressor into the electrical box. So that's pretty much what you want.
Many unbearable hours later.
Okay, so we got our first connection done. We got the brown wire to the micro air going to the compressor. Yeah, to the compressor white wire. All right, so the next wire is, so the white wire from the easy start now goes to your capacitor. And I'm pretty sure it goes to, so it goes on the same terminal that you just took the white wire off of. So white wire to white wire. All right, so a little more. Gonna be a tight fit here. I think a lot of the problem with this is just my hands are too freaking big. This is just not built for somebody with giant hands to be working on, I don't think. And the stupid black wire is right in the way of everything. It's like 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. Working on it with giant bear paws. All right, so we got the white wire. Now we're on to the orange wire. So the orange wire goes to the red terminal group. So, all right, there we go. All right, one wire left. All right, so we got our red wire on. All right, orange wire's on. Black wire's on. All right, the only one left is the black wire. And the black wire goes to the blue wire. So, all right, so it goes to the blue wire. Now, on my other one, it said that this blue wire was normally blue, but it was actually black on my other one. So, but I mean, you could tell it was the wire that went to the compressor and the main wire there. So, through the source, through some reasonable deduction, I was able to figure that out. I'm sure the instructions can't account for every single thing ever made under the sun. So for this connection, I'm going to use a 3-terminal Wagyu. I found these on Amazon. Actually, I watched them from another video, from a different model air conditioner, but these seem to make it super easy to install. So we got our black wire. So now all we need to do is cut our blue wire right here, and we're just going to tap into it. Never a big fan of cutting wires, but you know, can only splice this back together if you have to. We're just going to strip a little bit back. All right, so now we'll twist these up real good. One wire in here. You can see it. You can see it go through there in the glass, and then you click it down. And we'll go to the next wire. Here, I'm going to strip a little bit more off for that one. This is the wire going to our micro air. So I think this, I don't know. All right, and then we'll click that down. Boop. And our last wire. Boom. All right, there we go. All right, so one extra thing. I don't think you have to do this, but I like to do it. I'm going to put a little bit of tape around the Wago connector, since it's up here in a hostile environment. I don't want it to shake loose and the connectors to open up, so I'm just going to put a piece of tape around it so that those things can never vibrate and come open. It's probably overkill, but all right. I was able to use the original conduit thing that was here and put it right there into the plastic. So now we've got a conduit there, and I think we are pretty much all done. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I think we are safe to turn the power on and give this thing a test. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I did it right. All right, so we got the electrical cover back on, and we've got to put the cover back on because otherwise it doesn't get cold. So when you go to test it, that's what I learned. One thing I learned with my other one is I tried to test it with the cover off, but the problem with that is if you try to test it with the cover off, it's just the fan's just sucking in atmospheric air, so you never really know if it's getting cold or not. So, well, I don't think I've ever seen the weather people miss as bad as they did today. They predicted storms all day today, and we've not gotten a second of rain. All right, so, all right, let's go see if it can learn. See if I did this right. Ooh, hopefully we don't let the smoke out. We got her plugged back in, and let's go see what we got. And I think it's a good idea for everybody to have one of these little voltmeters in their motorhome. I always keep one of these running so it tells you what your input voltage is. So for the learning process, you're supposed to basically cycle your temperature up and down, up to turn the compressor off to a temperature, turn it up until the temperature is high enough that it turns the compressor off, and let it just set for a minute or so, and then turn it back down to like 63 so that it'll turn the compressor back on. And you do that for 5 times so that it can learn how much power it needs. So this is the first cycle. It is starting to get cold. All right, so that's pretty much it. You see it did pull down our volt a little bit. We're down to 118 from 119. So, oh, there it goes. Now it's nice. Now it's getting cold. It takes it a minute. I mean, it's not instantaneous cold. All right, so I didn't see any smoke come out, so we're going to let it learn for 5 tries. Older Dometic that I had on the back, which was a Penguin 1, I think. So it's actually the exact same for the wiring, only the blue wire that it says is blue was black on mine. So that might help some people out there that are trying to wire older Penguin Dometic ones. But the newer Dometic one was a black wire for the last connection. So I guess wrap this video up probably at the racetrack. So we'll test it on the Yamaha 2200, and we'll give you final results and see how it worked out. All right. Well, we're finally getting the test out. Our micro air conditioning units. We're all set up at the racetrack out here, as you can see. Got the motor coach all set out here. Got my little generator going. It's screaming along, but it hasn't kicked out yet. So got the air is ice cold. Woo! So this is going to be like a game changer at the racetrack because now we can have ice cold AC and not have to run the big generator. And if we need both air conditioners, we can run the big generator. But these big ones can be temperamental. Sometimes they like to, I don't know, not want to run at the racetrack. And at least now we have like a backup plan. If it's 100 degrees outside, we can hook at least one air conditioner up and don't worry about the dogs, because that was the biggest concern we had was you go to the racetrack, if your main generator dies, you can't run the AC off the little ones. Like the RV is immediately going to get 90 degrees, and then your little fur baby end up panting to death. So super excited. I took the filters out of it to clean them. That's why the filters aren't in there right now. We'll get those popped in here in a minute. But anyway,
hey, there we go.
micro air, it's a game changer, like a champ. Ooh. Oh, as it kicks off, mother trucker. All right, so we're here to test the micro air again. We're at the racetrack, so you probably hear race cars in the background. But my little 1600 2000 watt generator wouldn't run them. It would run them for a few minutes and then they'd kick off. So I went and got a new generator, so we'll see if this will be enough to run them. So what did we get? So after a bunch of internet searches, I found this Westinghouse, which has 2500 peak, and it has the highest running watts that I could find in one of these suitcase generators at 2200 watts. So I think that should be enough to run our air conditioners. So let's find out. All right, so we got the air conditioner on and I can hear the fan running. So now we gotta come over to our little voltmeter here and see how we're starting. So we're at 120. Once that drops, that's when the compressors kick on. So just wait a minute. Oh, and there it just kicked on. You see the voltage drop from 120 to 118. So that's not too bad of a drop. So now we'll just wait for it to get cold. All right, so it's still going. It's been a couple minutes now. Seems to have leveled out at 118, 119 volts, and the display on the generator shows we're sitting right at 75 to 100%. So I think that's about all that generator can stand. So what do you think, is? It's blowing on her. It's like, this is great. It's just like at home. Alright, so we'll let it run for a little while and see how it goes. Well, here we are. Let's see. Quite a bit later. The motorhome has cooled off all the way. The generator is now showing 75% load and seems to be working like a champ. So, I think we finally found a generator that'll work. Unfortunately, my little 1600s, I guess I'll just put those up for sale. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. We know now that the 1600 little Yamahas are just not enough, but the 2200, 2500 Westinghouse works like a champ. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, so this was a great comparison on how small of a generator you can actually use with the micro air. So our iPower 16 2000 watt generator just doesn't have enough juice to run the air conditioners, even with the micro airs. They would run for a few minutes, but ultimately they would always end up kicking off. So we had to upgrade to the Westinghouse iGen 2500. Now these run about, right now they're going for $625 on Amazon, and these iPowers are like $525 on Amazon. So it's really only $100 more. We found this one on sale. It had like a, I don't know, so it was, I think it was under $500 is what we got it for. So you can find them on sale. So we ran this iGen generator for pretty much a week straight and haven't had any issues with it so far. It ran the air conditioners pretty much perfect. Well, so it ran one air conditioner just perfect. You can't run both air conditioners off one of these little generators, but you can run one of them, which was plenty enough for us. I think it was 86, 87 degrees, and the inside of the motorhome still was like 70, in the 70s, so it was nice and cool in there. So the fuel for the iGen, it actually does really good. When it's on full power, because it's running the AC and stuff like that, it would last 2 to 3 hours on a tank of fuel. And then at night, when the air conditioner would kick off and we'd just let it run fans and stuff like that, it ran all night. So it ran over 8 hours on a tank of fuel with no problems. I don't recall ever running out of fuel on us. So one nice thing about this generator is it does have a gas gauge on the front of it. It has a little digital gauge right here. So as it gets low, you can walk by and see that it's only got 1 bar or no bars left. And then when you fill it up, just stop when it gets to the full bar there. My only negative about this one is you really can't see the fuel inside it when you fill it up, so you pretty much have to watch the gauge on the front and just stop when it hits 4 bars. So as far as noise levels go, we started them up side by side and walked away and came back and had them both at full power, low power to kind of compare them. I'm sure you can check the specs on Amazon, but as far as our noise test goes, they're pretty much exactly the same. So to us, the iGen 2500 was not any louder than the iPower 1600. So that's pretty awesome. So we've had these iPowers for 3 years now. So these Westinghouse ones weren't out back then. So I think they've just come up with the technology to get this much power out of these little generators. So hopefully you find this helpful. I don't know what we're going to do with our little generators. We're probably just going to put them up for sale. They work great as long as you're not trying to run an air conditioner. So hopefully you find this helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.